Hello, everyone. This is Apache Smash, and welcome to Metal Gear Speedrunners presents UnMetal Unleashed. So it's the first time we've ever done anything like this. We're in association with the publisher versus Evil and the developer on Epic Games, and over the next 12 hours, we'll be attempting to beat the developer time of 50 minutes in UnMetal. So throughout the day, you'll see multiple runners of the game make their attempts, and we will watch and provide commentary from here. Just so you're aware, every single hour we're going to be giving away copies of the game, and there'll be more information on how to get involved with that in the chat. And we're also raising money for Fundacio Casamai, which is a non-profit organization that works for the integral development of the people in Senegal. But it's not just me here on the commentary. I've also got with me Sergeant Silent as well, and joining us very shortly, creative game assistant Jack Clefair as well. How's it
Hello,
going,
hello.
Sarge?
Glad to be here. This is going to be exciting.
I'll take us over to where the magic happens now.
Sure. I'd like to apologize ahead of time if I spontaneously mute. There are multiple children running around this household that I was not expecting today.
No worries. I've got a dog barking really loud next door, so it's all good. We'll just deal with it. So here we are. For the first block today, we do have Puzon76, ItsDevilDude, NickRPGreen, and Plywood. And on the screen, you'll be able to see the runners' PBs as well. So you'll be able to see their current best times. Hopefully, throughout the day, we'll see those improve. And of course, getting ever closer to that record time as well. So if we beat the time of 50 minutes, then Versus Evil have pledged to donate some money to the charity as well. So
Yeah, I'm I'm
should be good.
I'm super excited to see when we'll get that first sub 50 today. I mean, if it happens this early, that's awesome. If it doesn't, it's a challenge for the whole day. Someone's going to get it and it's probably going to happen today. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some people who hear the time of 50 minutes and think, damn, it's a really tough time. And then there's others who, not mentioning names, Glenn said, I'll beat that. As soon as he heard it, he was just like, I'll beat that.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely think that throughout the day we have quite a few very strong competitors who will definitely be able to get sub 50.
yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but it's certainly within the possibilities. A lot of runners think it's possible. That's for sure.
All right. It looks like our runners are all sitting on that intermission or sitting on that unmetal starting screen. I think they're all itching to go. Do we got anything before we send them off? Actually, how you doing, Jack? I see you've
I'm
joined.
yes, I'm doing quite well. This is simultaneously exciting and terrifying to see how this game can be destroyed.
Yeah, and you see it not just destroyed by one person, up to 7 people at one time, destroying the game you've spent. How long have you worked on this game at this point? Like,
It'd be more accurate to say Fran's been working on it for over
how
3
long have
years.
you for 3 years? You've been assisting, and he's been working on it. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
gonna be a good day for everyone involved.
Before we go on, I do have an important question. Can you explain the category that will be run today?
I can. So specifically, to those of you who have been following this game, the speedrun community helped work on a speedrun timer for this game, which came out officially to all versions on version 1.0.4. So we will be doing the easy difficulty, which was designed essentially to be as quick as possible with the speedrun timer on version 1.04. And on top of that, will be on PC because it is just generally the most accessible and the most up to date. Uh, yeah, that's what we're doing. So all of our players, I believe, all of our players will be on 1.0.6 with a speedrun timer on PC easy. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, the category we're running is easy any percent. So there's no restrictions on skipping XP or bosses or secrets. But what you do find is that players do need to pick up some secrets in order to complete the game as fast as possible, and also to get XP as well. The first level up you get, for example, is sprint. So you'll see runners taking out guards in order to get sprint as fast as possible. There's other categories in the game, such as perfect percent and unperfect percent as well. We do have to acquire everything in the game, but this is the fastest category, the fastest version of the run.
Yeah, you mentioned levels. The first interesting thing is gonna be seeing who levels up where. All of these runners have slightly different variations, and the way experience works in this game is that if a guard has not seen you at any point, you gain XP from him. This game is random, as you just saw on Puzon's screen there, for example. He got seen by a guard. That guard's not going to give him experience. Because of that, all of our players could be gaining different experience from different guards. They could be leveling up at different points. The goal is to get sprint before the first boss, but we will see how the game treats our players today.
There's a couple of different ways I've seen people do it. You'll see where they level up with sprint before the last guard of the boss, and then others will level up from the first boss of this stage. Puzon took a hit there, but then I think did he load a quick save to get his health back, or did he bandage? How did he do that?
Yeah, he reloaded a quick save. So, the cool thing about this game is there's a lot of quick saves, in a lot of places, and when you reload that, you instantly get, essentially think of it like a snapshot, at the current time. So when you get put back, he gets all of his health back, but he also loses any items and stuff he picks up. So our runners are going to be doing that as a safety strat throughout. You will see, if they get in a situation they're not happy with, quick pop, and they're back. There's another feature we'll see later that is even more like a save state, but we'll worry about that when we get there. I saw Nick there took the level up before Grenade Guy, whereas Puzon looks like he's going to be getting it from Grenade Guy. Yep, and there it pops.
All right, the first boss, Grenade Guy. He moves left to right randomly, so he doesn't have a set path, and he's just taking out Nick as well. We don't like Grenade Guy. He's a tough boss. He moves left to right at random, and he will fire at random as well. He only needs to hit you like twice with the grenade to kill you. So
yeah,
or
even one good direct hit on easy will take you out. So they really need to be careful not to be anywhere near that explosion if they can help it.
So, interesting notes about Grenade Guy from a commentary on Developer. He takes 13 to 16 steps left or right, and at that timer, he takes a moment to throw a grenade, and then he randomly chooses 3 to 16 steps again.
I see. No wonder he's awful.
He's always like if you stand really close to him, generally you just get pinged by a grenade immediately. So you have to pick like, do you want to be at range from him? And obviously, the further you are away from him, then the more likely, the longer it takes for your projectiles to travel, and the fight is slower the further away you are from him. Really nice Bosco from Puzon as well. Under 50 seconds. That's really fast. His positions in the room. So Bosco, the guy we're kicking the globe at, his positions in the room are set, so you always know where he's going to be, and you do have time to kind of set up the ball ahead of time, and make sure you can always hit him. But to get like kill him at like 46 seconds, which is where Puzon got him, it's ridiculously fast. Another thing Puzon's going to do here is he's going to try and not kill any of these sewer creatures. The killing the sewer creature causes a cutscene, which is quite a lengthy one that you have to skip. But if you don't kill any, you don't get the cutscene.
Yep. And you'll also notice he did a little manipulation there. He got a save and he reloaded it, and that's because the way the piranha guys spawn is based on something that is, when you reload your save, it essentially delays their spawning. So that lets him skip through the room. Speaking of skips, this is I want to say our first major skip of the run. What are we calling it? Is it Doggo Skip?
It's Doggo Skip, yeah.
Doggo
Skip.
Skip. Yeah, that was found by a newer member of the community, and it's pretty cool because it skips having to go through quite a lot of the level. Lets us just skip straight across the room to the item we need.
Yeah, there's a whole left side of the level where you pick up some meat in order to distract that dog. But if you, one, have decent health, so a lot of players will get the stamina in the first level, and you roll really precisely, so you roll into the room, and then you roll twice past the dog. By the time the dog connects with you, and we'll get to see it here as well, by the time the dog connects with you, we're close enough to the edge of the room that we can leave, and the dog won't travel through the room with us.
Yep.
Yeah, skips out a large section of that stage.
And depending on how optimally you exit and re-enter the screen, like you saw Puzon right there, that was one of the best doggo skips I have ever seen. It's possible to end up in the next room with basically next to no health, or essentially losing none. So we're gonna see a lot of different variations on how that skip is executed.
Yeah, you have to roll 3 times in order to survive the dog, and Puzon somehow rolling 4 times, so it's very precise to do that.
Alright, these are the 3 most hated piranhas by everyone in this level. Oh, the way the game prioritizes punches, if one of those piranhas gets on top of Jesse, then Jesse will prioritize the piranha instead, which will essentially lead to you getting bitten, and they could very quickly whittle you down if you're in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's a huge gamble there. If you want to go fast, you have to run past all 3 and take out the trash pile before they pile up on you. So that's the trade-off. Like, your timing has to be perfect in order to do that. If you mess it up, you can move out the screen and you're losing time, or you can try and take out all 3, and as Sergeant said, it can kill you doing that.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say Puzon's at the cheesiest part of the game right now. It's a fun little section. I think it's self-explanatory. Do you have any commentary you'd like to add on to that section to explain like the thought idea behind that, Jack? That's a fun little section there.
I can provide some thoughts, but it's all Fran's brilliance. You're a giant chunk of cheese, and assassin rats want to eat you. It's even better without context. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think so. And like, it's not always rats; it can also be squirrels.
Now, that also brings up one of the core mechanics of the narrative in this game, where many times throughout the game, you get to choose one of multiple options to help define the story, and sometimes it can change it like this. The thing that I find interesting is he chose the rat/cheese option, which is the one that you have to put more inputs to go to the right and choose. Is there a reason that people choose that, to your knowledge, versus the squirrels?
Oh, cheese is just the preferred option. It's just ultimately better.
I think he just prefers it. I don't think there's a speed mechanic to pick this. Normally, if it's an option that you're not on, the option is slower. So if you move for it, and we'll see a good example of that in stage 3, an option that runners always pick, even though it's slower. But I think some people just prefer the rats and some people prefer the squirrels.
The only thing I can think of is that Squirrels has an additional cutscene on it. However, I don't think it adds another skip input.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, right? Because it all gets skipped together. But I see what you're saying, and maybe there is a good chance that Puzon knows something we don't, because Puzon is like really, really good at this game, like frighteningly good at this game. Probably my favorite boss in the whole game, Sewer Junk. So we have a flamethrower. And we're going to essentially the sewer junk will pop out at random parts of the map, and we'll try and hit it with a flamethrower. It'll also put its tentacles down on the walkway, and we'll have to move those depending on where it is before we can hit it. And we've got to avoid these projectiles from it as well. Jesse does become invincible when he rolls, so you'll see runners rolling quite often to avoid attacks.
So there's something with this boss known as, I think we're calling it like flamethrower skip, but basically the flamethrower is scripted to be removed, but it's possible with really good damage that our players will be able to keep the flamethrower. Do you think any of them will be keeping the flamethrower today?
I think they'll all. You don't keep it past the stage. Like once you get out of chapter 3, chapter 2, it disappears. Puzon was pretty close there, so he was like 3 hits from. Essentially, once you get the boss health still low, a cutscene will play where the flamethrower. You get a choice of whether it blew up or broke apart. If you pick blows up, you immediately die. So runners do have to pick broke apart. But you can actually skip that phase if you get the boss low enough just before that phase would happen, and then once it pops up, take the rest of its health. It's a good time save. It's like something I think Puzon found the flamethrower skip as well. But I know a few of these runners can do it. They'll all be going for it, that's for sure.
Interesting route change, just as a note. NickRPGreen right now just opted to get, I believe, both secrets on the sewers, where the others have not. Just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, so there's is there 3 staminas on this level that you can pick up?
There are 2 stamina on this level, specifically, but because of the first one you get on the first level, you can have 3 at the end of it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons you'd want more health, especially for stage 2. Stage 2 is a level that you can end up taking a lot of damage, so it does make sense.
Yeah. So I guess potential spoiler warning: we will be seeing players open quite a bit of secrets. Because as we mentioned earlier, routing out like which secrets we pick, which ones we don't, is very important. We obviously want the quickest secrets we can get, because later there's gonna be a skip that involves having the more health you have, the better. So we really want to have as much as we're willing to get. So which secrets the players choose and which ones they don't is going to be very, very interesting to watch. Some are definitely faster than others, but it's not just the stamina that's in the secrets. Some secrets have ammo, some have ammo increases, and there's other items in there that could all influence this routing. So we're going to see some very interesting decisions on the extra areas that they head to. So we see Plywood and Puzon have entered stage 3. Puzon is actually about to fight the first boss coming up. He is, I assume, going to do a method that was found by Plywood to 2-cycle this boss. Let's see if he pulls it off. Alright. Oh no, unfortunate. The great land.
Yeah, Puzon takes a death, and I wonder if he's just going to stay with it or if he's going to reset his entire run. Because Puzon will be trying to play to the absolute highest level he can, and I'm wondering what his mindset is, whether he wants to get like a full run done first and then, kind of do really optimal attempts. He isn't doing the 2-cycle method. So cycles are when the boss is in front of you and then it flies away. That's 1 cycle. So you can kill this boss in 2 cycles as long as you hold up while you're firing and perfectly dodge the containers being dropped on you. What Puzon did there was a 3 cycle, so very slightly slower. And he did take that death as well, so I am wondering where he's at now. I'm assuming, unless he does something really bad, he will just play to the end of the run.
Yeah, it looks like Puzon's going to... I think all of our runners are going to commit their first run to finish. I've not seen any of them pull a reset yet, so this should be very interesting to at least get a general idea of how the game is going to play in full, and then we'll start seeing them really start hammering in that commitment with the time they have.
And we do have a donation from Joseph Joestar 316, who donated €13.37. Good number, Joe. So starting this off, donation for a community I've been happy to be a part of. Let's see UnMetal get unleashed. Thanks, Joe, and I think we will see that.
Yo, Blackie, thank you for the raid. Alright, so I missed it. Did Plywood get the 2-cycle? I believe he almost certainly did. He's the founder of that method.
I didn't see.
Unfortunate. What about you, Jack? Did you happen to catch it?
No, not at all. I was actually happy to see the donation.
Oh, good. I'm sure we'll be seeing multiple 2 cycles today, so.
I do want to say an interesting addition that we did to the easy difficulty is we, in patch 1.04, we actually made it so that you could see the heat sensors when you equip the anti-thermal suit. And it's a cool little quality of life that I don't know if it really helps too much on the speedrunning now that I think about it.
I think it definitely would have helped when we all first did this room, but it is very difficult without those red triangles to kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, I think most of us, since we've been playing since 1.0, kind of trial and error these rooms, whether we wanted to or not. So
Yeah,
we
no,
have a pretty good idea, but I do think they definitely do help, at least at a glance. What's up?
I was embarrassing at this room when I first started playing. I found it really difficult.
Yo, so speaking of embarrassing, you might have noticed that was another choice where the players could choose. Most of them are going to choose detector because it simply spawns 2 more detectors. If one of our players picks the option on the right, we'll be seeing a lot of sheep, and that is not an option we want to see. I did that my first time playing.
Yeah, I did too, and I'm specifically during my runs. I'm specifically going to pick sheep because I saw Fran talking about the game on Twitter, and he said no one will pick sheep, so I'm picking it.
The interesting part is part of my job as a creative assistant is to watch new playthroughs of this game, and I can tell you, out of the first 50 streams I watched, 43 of them chose sheep. 0 of them chose GRD.
Yeah, I remember just looking, thinking, "What the hell do these mean?" And yeah, I was still surprised when I got sheep. 250 sheep.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, when I looked at the naming conventions, I was like, okay, so I can't figure out what DTC is. I could probably figure out what GRD is. What is SHP? And I picked it, and I mean, yeah, I found out what it was. It's just the naming convention is what gets you there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is actually 250 sheep, but because I tried counting them, and every single time I did, I kept falling asleep. So maybe there is.
That got me.
I was like,
me.
I was like, your silence is deafening, guys. Your silence is
No,
deafening.
I was muted laughing. I've got birds in the background. Apologies if you hear them.
Oh, Lord.
All right, welcome to the jungle. Notorious stage 4 that we'll see Puzon go through now. This is a major skip. Out of all the skips we do in any level, this is the big one. So in this level, there is a boss, and after the boss, there's a mine detector that you can pick up. But we can get through the minefield without the mine detector. There's 6 possible positions of the mines, and they are static. And Puzon will know which pattern he has. So he's through. You won't be able to see it, but there's a ton of mines in that stage, and there's some in here as well.
Yeah, it's
48 seconds. God damn it! People have gone fast at this stage now.
It's what's up, Jack?
I just got a note from Fran. There are actually 250 sheep.
Oh, okay, it's good to know.
You heard it here first, folks. There are indeed 250 sheep.
That was unreal by Puzon, by the way. Absolutely unreal.
Oh yeah, so to sit down and memorize those patterns is really impressive. We've been working on this since the new minefield, because we're not going to talk about 1.0 minefields here. Since the new minefield came out, we've been working on that pattern. It's still developing today. Like, I think the 6th pattern just got found maybe 3 days ago. So it'll be interesting to see if we find a surprise mine at some point we didn't know existed.
Puzon's doing something super weird with the screens there. He kept going back and forth rather than all the way around. I can't even explain what he did, but it looked fast.
It definitely is. It's the way the game checks is that it only makes sure you go to the top or bottom screen. So the moment you enter that screen, it's essentially hitting a check and going, "Oh, okay, you visited the screen," and you could simply turn around instead of losing time running across the whole thing. You're supposed to explore that body a little bit more in depth than Puzon did to get a compass, and then have some fun distracting a bird to make a working compass. But nah, we're speedrunners. Just memorize it. So that's what Puzon is doing. He has memorized a sequence of, I think, 15-ish inputs and or 15 screen transitions, and he's just gonna run on through it. And it looks like Plywood is hot on his heels once he gets through this minefield. Plywood had a slightly different pattern, but he just as definitely performed that minefield. It was excellent. Uh-oh. Yeah, so Fuzon's moving into level 5, which is pretty notorious at first.
It's my favorite stage in the whole game. This is my favorite stage. It's awesome. It's got 2 bosses. You have to be really good with your movement in order to make it to the end of the stage. I'm not sure if Puzon will pick it up, but there is a secret in this stage that's body armor. It's probably the best secret in the whole game. Allows you to prevent damage from 50% of shots. So you basically have to come to these grenades without an alert that will lock the door. And you see there, he gets the bulletproof vest as well. So now he's going to fight 2 bosses. There's a fast kill on the boss, and then you can also get into the next room without the boss defeated screen playing. And if you fail it, I think it can soft lock the game. So he's going to be absolutely perfect. I think he's going the safe way, actually. Yeah, he looks like he's playing safe. So now you hit the boss 6 times, and then he'll move into the next room.
No,
yeah, so he's not going for it. You can skip this entire boss defeated screen.
Yeah, I think boss defeated is 12 seconds off the top of my head. So that is a nice time save, but you know, when you're just trying to complete a run, the last thing you want to do is stop like there and have to restart from the entire beginning.
True. Okay, so you can only carry 2 rockets at a time. So what Puzon did was he kept 2 grenades when he entered the room, so he could destroy one of these, I guess, sets of crates himself. And then he's just going to have it in a situation where he'll always have rockets to pick up off the ground to hit the back of the tank. The back of the tank is where you have to hit it, and he'll always be able to avoid. Sorry, I froze for a second now. Give me one sec.
Yeah, that's weird. Uh-oh. All right. Well, we can still see the feed. So Puzon here is entering. Oh God! Everything got disoriented. What is happening here?
Not to worry, our experts in the background will be fixing it. These guys will be keeping a record of their own runs. So if Puzon is indeed on record pace here, he won't lose out. So they're not relying on us to record them. They are recording them.
So Puzon here is doing level 6. This introduces some new mechanics like engineers and a submarine. This level is very interesting because it forces the player to really think about their grenade management and their healing management, because they don't words hard. Sorry, it's early. like if you come into this with no grenades, you have to find grenades, you have to find medkits, you have to find all of that stuff. And if the players let a someone die, they get a game over because Jesse doesn't kill anyone. So they can't just abandon them to let them go do their thing. They have to make sure that they have the med kits, and they have to make sure that they have the grenades, because that's just the only way to get through this level that we know of at this time. Thankfully on easy, the saws the engineers are controlling don't move around like crazy. So once that's been dealt with, it's a nice simple run through.
So
Okay, I think we're back.
yeah, we were talking about saws, but now we're playing in a yellow submarine.
We are, yes.
So go on, Apache.
I'm quite embarrassed that I missed the joke in this stage. I'm honestly pretty embarrassed. Have to live with that forever.
All right, I think I'm about to be embarrassed. There's a joke in this stage.
So,
yeah, it's to do with the yellow submarine.
So when we were there's a commentary as he's going into the submarine in his interrogation where he's like, "How was the submarine?" And he's like, "It was very comfortable. It was blah blah blah. It's almost like you could live in it." And it's a play to a certain song talking about living in a yellow submarine.
I see. I just wow, I don't think I'm a big enough I assume that's a Beatles reference considering it's a song by them. Yeah, I just nope, didn't even catch that. There's so many small hidden references in this that I was so focused on the game, I probably missed so much of the story.
I missed it, and I love the Beatles, so like, I don't know, there's no excuse. Puzon with this crazy strat, I love it. He's like just floating straight over the top of the mines. Saves a ton of time now.
Yeah, that's cool. Speaking of crazy strats, I believe this method of doing the stage 6 boss was developed by Puzon. Looks like he's playing it a little safe, but oh, that was a clean shot. It's possible to sit even closer than this, and what that will do is it lets you hit this boss as soon as possible. Oh, little bump there. And get into this next screen. I don't think it's actually possible to defeat this boss defeated or skip this boss defeated screen yet, but I'm curious if we got to the top quick enough, if we could skip that or not.
I'm pretty sure it is. I think that's what they go for now. Is to get out of that room, you have to go through the center of the screen after the eel is dead. You can't actually get through until after the eel is dead. And so if you kill it and immediately go through, you can get out the level essentially before the boss defeated screen comes up. And of course, in the shipping containers, you will find just $10 million, multiple sets of $10 million just floating around. Just remember to check all shipping containers in case there's a cool 10 mil.
Yeah, there's actually 60 mil in here, but we only need 50 mil of it. And the reason for that is because the whole time we've been trying to escape. So we finally found our boat, and we are going to get off of this. Oh, and the boat's gone. Well,
the boat was speedrunning, I guess, faster than us.
The boat was speedrunning to the point where it left without us. It was like, Jesse, you're too slow, and it just left. That's what happened. Dang, the difference in pacing between our runners makes me... Did someone reset and I just missed it?
No, but there have been some bad, unfortunate patterns for Nick, for example. And DevilDude has had... no, actually, poisonous frogs.
Oh, no. I'm surprised he's going with the frogs choice, honestly. Frogs is really scary. The frogs move... I mean, the flies move randomly, but the frogs, there's 4 of them. That's a really brave choice to go with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
mean,
think when we had the crash as well, I think Plywood just waited on the stage complete screen. He won't lose any kind of IGT for that as well.
yeah. So that's the cool thing about IGT is the players, if they need to, rest their hands or something within reason, the IGT in this game was specifically made so that it only runs during cutscenes, stages, gameplay, etc. Once you've completed a stage, you could sit on the stage completed screen and rest up as you need before continuing on. That's one of the big reasons we like 1.0.4 so much, is just because we have this accurate IGT that accounts for essentially pure execution on the game.
And to be more specific, we even Fran and I made it a goal to actively talk to the Metal Gear speedrunning community to get feedback on where the IGT should start, where it should end, and it's basically built partially because of you guys and gals. So
yeah, it was really fun working with you guys and getting this game to the state it is now. I'm very glad everything we've done, us, the speedrunning community, but also everyone else, because I know it's not just us. This game has definitely been a community effort between Fran, you, the voice actors, the communities that have played it. It's been great. What?
So we were fighting a nuclear sub. Now we're just fighting a helicopter. And
yeah,
I am tragic at this boss.
This-
Puzon's doing okay as well.
this boss. Go on.
It's worth noting that Puzon's level 4 and Plywood is level 5. So Plywood is definitely prioritizing more XP over the rest of the runners.
Yeah, that boss is honestly really rough because the pattern, I don't know when the pattern of the river is decided, but the pattern is completely random. Do you know specifically when that pattern is decided in the river, Jack?
I do not know, but I speculate it is generated probably at the beginning of the load of the chapter, is what I speculate.
That
Mostly
makes sense.
based on information that's been provided in the past. However, I expect a message from Fran and probably... Yeah? Oh, well... I'll have a message. I have to catch on this message, but I believe it's beginning of chapter is what I speculate.
Yeah. So, the helicopter will always go left and right. I believe it always starts going left. Don't hold me to that. But the river is what's random. So we have to follow that river. And if the helicopter is left, the river is right. There's just nothing we can do there. That boss can be defeated in anywhere from 2 seconds to 20 seconds, just depending on what happens. So our players are really hoping for fast. Did I just speak English? I don't know if what came out there made
Possibly.
sense.
We did get another donation, by the way, from Precious Roy for €50, and he said, "Let's get that sub 50." Thanks so much, Roy. That's a generous donation, mate. I won't be getting sub 50, but I'm sure one of these runners will.
Not with that attitude, sir. So, a description of what's happening on Puzon's screen right now is that Jesse has decided he is going to be sneaking into the Omega building, and there are guards that are going to trigger an alarm if they're not standing at post. So Jesse, using his MacGyver-like skills, decided to make 2 what he calls clones of those guards. Meanwhile, working now with a new weapon or a new item, electromagnetic grenades.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Sergeant?
I think they're cool because they take out cameras along with other electronic enemies, but I think they're a bit unfortunate when you roll after throwing a grenade and hit yourself and then you die. I've done that more than once, but overall, they're a really cool item. EMPs have been a staple of some games, so it's pretty cool to see that they've made it into this game. There's no magical, chaff particles, but you know what? Fran has specifically said this game's not meant to reference the other games, so it's nice that they're there. It's a cool mechanic. Especially that says they last 5 seconds, which gives you more than enough time. Actually, is it 5 on this difficulty?
It's 5.
Yes,
Nice.
5 on this difficulty.
5 is a lot of time to do the things you need. I actually recently watched some new strats for this upcoming room that I didn't even think to do with EMP grenades. So these cameras that Puzon is up against right now have a very annoying cycle, especially on reload. But Puzon is going to completely manipulate this room most likely with how he throws them. No, he's actually not going for that strat. Interesting. Okay, so I think he's just gonna... Okay, never mind. He's gonna take a different cycle. I didn't even know that cycle existed. This is why this game is crazy, because everyone has different cycles and different strats. That was even faster than I expected. He did opt to get both secrets in that stage as well. Go on.
I would have not gone for that in a million years. That was terrifying.
Yeah, within our community, those cameras have notorious why hitboxes. Sure, Jack and Fran have probably not heard the end of people complaining about those camera detections.
We have certainly heard the beginning, but the majority of the concerns that people have is that, is it bugged? Is it this or that? But it's working as intended.
It's always a feature. Always a feature. Except for the one time it's a bug. So, Puzon specifically chose exterminators, sorry. The reason he did that is because they give experience when destroyed. They are susceptible to EMPs, so that we could just completely run past them. And when they are destroyed, they drop ammo and other necessary items, which will save time later. He's also coming up on... Would you say this is the biggest skip in the run at this point, Apache?
I think the minefield is. I think the minefield's bigger, but this is a very big skip, and it's only possible if you get the blood. You have to have a good amount of health, so generally you want 4 or 5 stamina. We can see Puzon's got 5. And he also picks up the blood bag. The blood bag will completely refresh your health. Oh, I'm just watching. This is not a great cycle. He's going to have to go the long way around the north of the room. Normally you need a radiation suit to get through this room, but Puzon has elected to pick up the blood bag, fully restore his health. This is going to be close still.
Oh, the door.
The door.
Oh, he made it. He made it. Oh. Oh, it's not over yet, though, because he has to get through several cameras, and if he accidentally rushes too early and has to reload his save or possibly recover from an alert, he's going to be put quite a far back or be put in a detrimental position. But thankfully, he's playing this smart. He's playing this safe. He's going to make it through and get to the next checkpoint. Yeah, that section could be very terrifying. These spider bots in there move, I mean, where they spawn, what pattern they have, it's basically random. And that's one of the big reasons we picked up the body armor. Body armor has a 50% chance of essentially nullifying damage, and we really hope that kicks in if we get a bad pattern.
Yeah, he definitely ate a few bullets with the body armor as well. Bulletproof vest, I think it's called, actually.
Yeah, I like that. Yo, hello. I see Unepic Fran has joined. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing today, Fran?
Oh, hello everyone. But I have to admit it. I'm nervous. I'm excited. It's a strange mix of everything. And I'm enjoying the stream. My God, that person is so good.
Yeah, Puzon. He's pretty good at the game. Yeah, we've seen him play for a while, and he keeps getting better as well. He's done a few things already today that have surprised me.
Yeah, I'm surprised, and I'm supposed to have created this game, so that's amazing. Well, thank you for inviting me for your streaming, by the way.
Yeah, of course. We're glad to have you. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure everyone does, but Fran made the game. So welcome, Fran. who created everything.
Um,
Good to have, yeah.
So you
So
had
the-
a few questions before, right? The question about the river, the creation of the river, the randomness of the bands.
yes.
So the river is created random. It's continually created randomly. So it's not created before the start of the level. It's just something random that goes left, right, depends on just random picks.
Oh, so it's just procedurally generated as you're going through.
Yeah, that's correct.
Gotcha.
Oh, so it's like one screen at a time. It just decides the river's gonna go this way, this screen, gonna go this way, this screen, kind of thing.
Yeah, in fact, it's 3 screens with a scroll. So once the camera reaches the top screen, goes directly to the bottom one and continues and generates the three screens on top. The only thing that is not procedural is the weight of the river, the length, not the length, the weight. Excuse, not the weight,
The width.
the width of the river. So the less HP the boss has, the narrower the river becomes.
Oh, I never realized that. I noticed that it was getting narrow at parts, but that's really interesting to know. That explains it. Definitely could get really scary on that river. There could be points where it's like, how am I not hitting the side here?
Yeah, it was just was a system to make it more difficult. The less HP the chopper had, just this.
No,
Oh, he was killed.
Oh!
So- Oh, go on.
So Puzan was attempting a quick kill there on Takama Takagashi and Samurai Boss. And that quick kill, if I'm correct, is they fall a moment after what just happened. Is that right? I believe?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a 3-4 second kill, something like that.
Yeah, you have to unload the pistol into him, and then as he is essentially connecting with you, swap to the rocket and fire it. But it looks like Puzan just got unlucky. He either missed the rocket or did not successfully deal the damage with it. Because if you fire it early, Takuma will actually dodge the rocket while he is charging at you, and it won't hit him. And then he does a follow-up slash with only 5 HP. That's a lot of damage. That's very scary. And yeah, we just saw what happens when the rocket misses. It was unfortunate.
It was. However, after defeating him, he does meet up with the best Mike in the game, Maintenance Mike.
Yeah.
Who I affectionately called Dude Mike.
Good Mike.
I do like Maintenance Mike. I do not like that he is counted as an enemy for the purposes of sprint. But I do like him overall. It's great. He's a good character. He's well-meaning.
I prefer Mike, personally.
Oh, that Mike?
Yeah.
Ah, I get you.
Solid argument there. Let's see where we at.
So,
I was just watching Nick do the helicopter boss. That was a really
Yeah.
decent boss.
It's hard to pay attention to 4 or 5 feeds at once. I gotta remember they're there sometimes.
So a little bit of updates. ItsDevilDude is having some challenges on Machine Gun Mike, the boss, and has died, I believe, twice, is what I may have missed. But because of the nature of how you're running through the entire map, there is absolutely no way to get a checkpoint in the meantime. But maybe we should take a moment to go back to Puzan and explain what's happening on the screen.
Yeah, so Puzan is scared of ghosts. I think that's it, right?
Or is Puzan afraid of no ghosts? Is that the phrase?
He ain't afraid of no ghosts. Yeah, so the dungeon, just like in is the dungeon the catacombs? That's its name. The catacomb.
The Labyrinth.
The Labyrinth. Oh yeah, you would know that, wouldn't you? The Labyrinth is another section. When we talked to Mike, he gave us a map, and we're supposed to. Oh no!
No,
Oh.
it was south. He went
Unfortunate.
east.
Oh, Puzon's choosing to take his reset there. So close.
Oh
I
my
think
god,
we'll,
we're so close.
I think we'll swap and have a look at what Plywood's doing in stage 9, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
if I'm correct, is this the second time through? I believe Plywood just got what's necessary to go into the labyrinth.
he's going up right now. I'm not.
Oh, so no, it's the first time through. Oh, he was coming back from Blood Bag.
Yeah, I think he just got the blood bag. All right, so yeah, Plywood is going to be doing the skip himself.
Up again. No.
Oh. All right, we're learning. We're learning. Here, let me.
So,
All right. Yeah, sorry about this. We're figuring things out on the back end as we do this. But yeah, Plywood. I've lost him. Plywood is currently doing the redwood skip himself right now. He actually did make it out first try, which is pretty nice.
which would make sense since Plywood prioritized getting more stamina along the way.
Yeah, definitely the more stamina you have, the easier. It's just becomes significantly easier to do that. And we really, I mean, dying in that room is so detrimental. Our players are making a potty save before it, which is good. Potty is the other like save feature I mentioned earlier. You could think of it like a literal save state. You can load it at any point, and it will put you exactly back to where you were with the items you have. It's a really cool feature. I'm surprised it doesn't lead to some weird interactions, but I do like how the potty has been implemented.
Well, while we're waiting for other people to catch up, we can talk about if there's any questions in chat. I'm keeping an eye out. But one of the things that we could talk about was how this game was enjoyed as a one-chapter demo before it got released. So a lot of people may know a lot more about Chapter 1 than the other chapters sometimes because of that. What, Sergeant, are you able to share anything on what you thought about playing Chapter 1?
Yeah, grenade guys in Chapter 1. I mean, honestly, I this game has, I think, been in demo since 2020 is when the April 2020-ish is when the public demo came out. I didn't actually jump on board the demo until maybe 2 weeks before the game released, and I gotta say, I'm kind of upset I didn't. This game it was great. It was really fun to play through it first time. I'm super happy I did it. It has some funny writing. It has some fun gameplay. I mean, there's some problems, but the game doesn't. We're not here to complain about that. We're here to have fun. But I did like it overall. Is there anything specific you're curious about from my experience with Chapter 1? I'd love to answer anything I could.
Well, while I do understand that you, like many others, are playing any percent, how often have you tried to do what's considered a perfect in the game, where you're able to get all the experience and secrets? And if not or so, how did you feel about that? Just as something to achieve or look for?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I actually really liked going through and finding all the secrets. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm not very. Like, there reaches a point where I'm just like, all right, I'm kind of done looking for this. But I liked once I understood how the secrets worked, how they were generated, it was quite fun to start looking for them, and you just start punching walls. It's more enjoyable to punch walls than you think sometimes, and it did lead to a good time. But yeah, I definitely missed quite a few of them. Like the one in Chapter 1, I had no idea.
So, Fran, if I'm correct, you added that secret for the demo, correct?
The secret in Chapter 1?
Yes.
Yes, in fact, I inserted it after the demo was released.
So
So the first months there was no secret, and then as I created the clear screen, the stage clear screen. So I said we need a secret here because the secret's everywhere else. So I just inserted the one in the computer room as an example.
So about that, there's a funny story, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Without telling me that secrets were implemented, I was watching streams and people suddenly started asking me, "Hey, where's the secret?" And I'm like, "There's a secret?" So that was a very interesting situation, to say the least. Speaking of interesting situations, Plywood's back on Chapter 9, going towards the Samurai.
He is indeed at the Samurai. Let us see. Okay, so he's going for the much simpler kill, where you simply loop the Samurai to the side because of how his AI is programmed. It's much safer. It's a little slower, but you don't have any unfortunates. Just unfortunates with what happened to Puzon. So ultimately, in the end, it ends up coming out ahead of time because he didn't take the death. Did he potty save before that, or did he just go in? Do you know? I assume he just went in.
I just saw a straight run in, so.
Okay. Yeah. Like this particular floor on Chapter 9 used to be quite painful, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some players taking it a little safe on that floor out of old habits. But nowadays, I think we're gonna see everyone pretty committed to getting through that floor.
There is also the simple possibility that people may be just safe because it's the beginning of the event. People looking to get a full run in at the beginning is another option.
Absolutely. All players here have the choice of continuing into another block, and I imagine we'll see most of them back. And if they choose to continue to a second 3-hour block, I think we'll definitely be seeing them there start really hammering these down.
I really hope to see him for a second round. That would be amazing.
Oh no.
Hey, I think it's
So
great.
It begins. So Plywood's in a bit of a rough spot right now. He has no med kits, and he has very little health. So these ghosts, if he lets them grab onto him, essentially they're just gonna start rapidly draining his HP until he gets off the screen. I don't believe it's possible to shake a ghost off once it's on you without exiting the screen, is it?
Fran, is it?
I'm not sure, because we did in the last patch we reduced the speed of ghosts in easy mode. So in easy mode maybe you can run faster if you roll or you do something special. I'm not sure because I haven't tested it in easy mode. But in the last run, when person was playing, he managed to fool them somehow. No, not there. Oh yeah.
But
they know the map better than I do.
But there is a way where you can roll past them and they seem to turn around and chase you. Specifically, it seems the 3rd to 4th turn is that is the case. There is an interesting question in chat, which is, can you save during the Labyrinth now? I couldn't when I played through. Mockingjay, to answer that question, you should be able to if there are no ghosts on the screen, because Jesse is not able to relax when there's an enemy on the screen. I mean, using the potty is serious business.
I never realized that. I've been chatting with Devil. He's a friend of mine. We've been chatting off stream, and he mentioned if he gets lost in the maze that he will take a potty in it. And I'm just now realizing you couldn't do that before. That's completely mind blowing to me, because I never thought about that. I just memorized the pattern and kept, falling into holes, and just practicing and learning, because let's just say the Labyrinth didn't always have metal plates telling you where to go. So it took a little bit to learn, but
Well, that said, it doesn't have it on hard difficulty either.
that is true. Hard is, if you want the original experience, hard's the way to go.
Yeah, in fact, it's a change we included in the last patch, or one of the latest patch, just to include some sort of mark on the ground to tell you where the split,
Yeah,
where the way splits. So, because we had problems with players that they couldn't realize which was the exact place, so we ended up doing this, and it looks like it worked because now players are happier. So
I would
it's
agree.
easy for them.
It definitely helped because it was so easy to lose track of what exactly is an intersection, what isn't. Like looking at it, it's like, of course that's an intersection, but you know, in the heat of the moment, you get lost, especially if you're not constantly checking the map back up and keeping track of where you are. I'm gonna be honest, I opened external notes and was just writing it down, and I still was having trouble with it, but I definitely like where it's at now.
He's not reading the art book. What's he doing?
He's speedrunning.
Oh, it's not an excuse. Okay, let's see.
He is on the final boss now. So, on the topic of the final boss, I want to ask something while we have you. We've been trying to one cycle the final boss. In your opinion, do you think we'll be able to one cycle him? As in, stop him, like after we throw the first EMP, take him out without him ever going stealth again. What do you think?
I think that's a question for you, Fran.
Okay, as far as I know, it's impossible because I program it that if he receives more than 3 or 4 bullets, I can't remember the exact number, so he's programmed to run away. Okay. And the time, well, if you shoot very, very fast, maybe you could, but I just programmed it to run away.
Okay, yeah, we've been able to get him, I think, with 5, maybe 6 bullets, but if you see the health Plywood has him at, it's typically about that or 1 extra hit. So yeah, we haven't been able to do it yet. Knowing it's possible with really perfect execution is good to know. But right now, we're pretty happy with just the 2 cycles that we got. And Plywood has finished the first run, it looks like. Let's see what.
All right, let's see what the final time is.
Wow, 14
53
seconds from a new PB. GG's Plywood.
Nice.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah, really well done to Plywood. As he said himself, like he had some mistakes across the chapters, so he just needs to tighten up a little bit. There's a few costly mistakes. I think of definitely like that Labyrinth reset being one of them.
Looking it over and comparing it to his previous times, Plywood has some definite stages he did significantly better, and a few that he could slice off at least a minute from.
Yeah, I think his stage 2 was like two minutes faster or something like that.
Yeah, that stage 2 was ludicrous for Plywood.
Yeah, well, I'll stick someone else on the main screen. Won't be a moment. Let's have a look at Nick, I think.
Yeah, so Nick right now is currently doing the wires. He is pretty close to finishing his own run here. So the cool thing about the wires is that it took longer to realize this than I would have hoped, but they're actually fixed. They're not random. So you just, once you learn the pattern of, you know, left, right, left, middle, middle, left, or whatever it is, it's actually really quick to do that. I'm curious why was making the wires random proving to be more tedious than making them scripted? Was there any decision there, or did you guys just decide from the beginning, just make them fixed and call it a day?
No, I just thought to make it fixed from the beginning because the script I have, I mean the script machine, the engine I have to do all this stuff is quite basic, and doing it random could be pain in the ass to program.
Yeah.
So it was fixed from the beginning, and even though I tried to memorize the sequence and all the time, and I couldn't. Have to just check the paper continuously because I couldn't do it. So no, it's
Yeah.
impressive how speedrunners can memorize things. You know, the map, it's okay, but the sequence of cutting the cables and wiring them, kudos for them.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing about memorizing is it's really just repetition. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't memorize the dungeon or the labyrinth, the forest. I still don't have the forest memorized. That place is a maze. Huh. But like eventually you just learn to look at rooms and go, I'm so used to traveling through this room. This is the path I take. I'm so used to being on this step or learning this button layout. It just kind of becomes second nature, but it repetition really is the key to memorizing in speedrunning. It just doing it again and again and again, you get better and better, and that's why I'm actually curious to know which one of our runners are using notes and which ones aren't. That's not something we could see here, but for example, knowing whether Nick has notes up for the different paths versus if he's memorizing it, that would be mind blowing if he just tells us, "Nah, I memorized it all." there's there's so many things to memorize: guard patterns, item locations, room routes. At 53 minutes right now. That's a lot to memorize when you're comparing it to, say, the first 2D Metal Gear, which is maybe a 19-20 minute run. But the second Metal Gear is about an hour, so it fits in well if you're used to that kind of game.
I have a question for you if you don't mind. So in previous round from Person, I saw how could he manage to pass through the minefield, and okay, I have no idea how he managed to do it without being blown away.
Yeah,
Do we have any clue here?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can explain how he did it if you like. Before he starts the run, he loads up chapter 4, and he'll be able to see what pattern he's got on the stage. So it'll be like one out of 6. Once he knows which one
Okay.
he's got, he'll start the run, and then he'll know exactly which, because it doesn't
Okay.
change when you reload. It only changes when you exit the process.
Yeah, I remember. I changed this recently as well. So instead of, but the minefield is random, okay? But before it was random every time you were killed. But now in previous changes, we changes that it generates every time you restart the game. So that makes sense because I saw him just going directly with no blows. How the hell he managed to do that? Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for your
Yeah,
answer.
no worries. He's definitely the best at it. I think out of everyone I've seen do it.
Oh my God, the laser!
Oh.
I've never seen anyone die to those. I didn't know you could.
Yeah.
You just got into an unfortunate place.
Those
Oh,
lasers.
Apache, that is a mean thing to say. I mean, that the funeral hasn't even happened for Jesse yet. I'm just saying.
Those lasers are rough. It honestly, I think I didn't die to the lasers until like maybe 5th, 6th time through, and then I was like, wait, they're instant kills? What?
So, as a small note, because I actually run this on hard, unperfect, and he's played and fought differently. Because you get all the experience, you'll have an ability called Tiger Lunge by this point, which is a teleporting punch. So you shoot, teleport, shoot, teleport, shoot, teleport in that rotation. So you are always point blank shooting him, essentially, in that pattern. And it's a quick kill. It's quicker to kill him in that case.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of like as Jack here is pointing out, like he made it.
Oh,
no, kidding.
but he got the checkpoint.
No! In a way, this is kind of like a. I don't know if calling it an RPG is fair, but like, you have to route your level ups, which levels we take when and where, and which abilities we take. Speedrunners have kind of set into a choice, but again, this is easy any percent on, as you're talking, Jack. Like, you would definitely not take the easy any percent level up choices, I would imagine, on hard unperfect.
They're close to the same. The third level, which is a choice between Rolling Thunder, which means you roll twice as many times essentially, or Tiger Lunge, is a definitively different choice for the way any easy percent or easy any percent works, because easy any percent, you are constantly dodging bullets. If you're dodging bullets in unperfect percent, you've already lost the run.
Yeah.
With the exception of spiders, but still.
Really, no, you know what? Is picking up the rad suit a required task? Or do you not get?
I do it, but it's because that's what I've always done before you guys found out how to skip red rooms. But it makes.
I'm actually really curious if unperfect, because the way we have the rules set up right now, for unperfect, all required main game tasks must be completed. But if there's no actual mainline objective that says grab the rad suit, might be able to do red roof skip in unperfect.
Well, this is definitely a conversation for the community to have.
Absolutely.
It is my opinion that perfect would not require it, and unperfect, because it's in the spirit of completion, would require it. And that's my opinion, but that's one that could be overruled.
Yeah, I definitely, from chatting with you about this and designing the category, because you're the main proponent of it, which it's good to have someone fight for something, is you're definitely in favor of the unperfect is like the developer intended category.
Pretty much. And perfect would allow for some flexibility per se with your choices. So
absolutely, yeah. Perfect is strict but lenient at the same time. Perfect's a really cool middle ground category to get things done. But I do want to point attention here. Puzon is about to finish a run. How did time fly? He is already here after that reset.
He's close to finishing a second run, to put it in perspective.
Yeah. Something to point out here, because I didn't talk about it last time. We're actually going into this fight with, oh boy, yeah, he took the death there. That's unfortunate. If you go into this fight with a med kit, specifically if you enter the third phase with a med kit, you'll get an extra cutscene of the final boss essentially laughing at you, taking it, and healing himself up. So we specifically want to go into this boss with no medkits equipped, or one that we promptly use during the fight while waiting in order to skip that phase. Puzon is going into this with no medkits, which means if he gets hurt at all, especially if he takes significant damage, he has to do the rest of the fight damaged and bleeding, which, as we just saw there, could be very detrimental. For the sake of the rockets, it's not too big. The rockets are specifically designed so that if you... Oh, no, I don't think Puzon's going to be able to bandage in time. Okay, that's good. The rockets are specifically designed so that as long as you don't move, they won't hit you. But the machine gun is directly made to counteract that. So if you don't move, the machine guns will hit you. Tank is a very, very mean boss if you choose not to EMP him. Puzon's in a bit of a tough spot right now here with... Oh, never mind. He beat the boss. All right, he's done.
Oh
so, On easy, you guys specifically have it programmed where Fran, you have it programmed specifically. You cannot bleed out during a boss fight on easy. Is that correct?
Yes, you can.
You can bleed out during a boss.
Yeah, I can't remember just programming it not to bleed to death when fighting a boss.
Wow, then it must extend that last hit point forever.
You
Yeah,
can't
he
do
did.
it while you can't bleed out while you're in an unskippable cutscene, essentially.
Yeah, in a cutscene you can't, and after a boss is defeated, then you stop bleeding. But during the fight, yeah, you can bleed to death. So.
That makes sense now, because you mentioned during the unskippable cutscene. One time while I was playing, I definitely during chapter 3 turned into the cheese and then took 2 steps and then dropped dead, and I was like, "What? How did that happen?" So,
oh my god.
Well,
the thing is, after a cutscene, after defeating a boss. So after defeating a boss, you stop bleeding directly, but not after a cutscene.
Oh no.
And yeah, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, apparently.
By the way,
that is Nick and not Puzon.
So, Nick was master of disguise outside of the game. Nick, GG, friend. GG. Was that a PB? Because the numbers aren't on the screen at the moment as our good people in the background are fixing it.
Let's see here. I believe that is 4 seconds from Nick's current PB. He currently is sitting at a 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 50 seconds. So he's consistent. That's what's good. He's consistent. Our best people are on it. Apologies, everyone, for the fiasco.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Nick, Puzon is impersonating you now.
Yeah, if you happen to get world record, but you have someone else's name, they actually get the world record. So, sorry about that.
It was in the fine print for the contract you guys signed for this.
Yeah.
Nick's off eating a potato chip in the kitchen and suddenly gets tweets. Congratulations on the world record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we actually got a completely new backend built for this by mostly programmed by the lightning strikes. So yeah, this is the first time we've ever used it in a live setting. So we're working out the small stuff.
I mean, everybody understands the phrase "that's never happened before." We'll just hear them.
We'll have a few of them today.
All right. So just to straighten everything out, Nick and Puzon have names. Nope, it looks like they're fixed now. Devil and Plywood are correct, right? Like Plywood is definitely running from the squirrels. Weird choice. While Devil is doing the detectors. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Nice.
That is correct.
All right, cool. It looks like Devil's been focusing on the resets here. He's trying to get consistent at the early game. Because I do believe Devil said he'll be back for another block. So I'm curious to see if he's going to just commit on practicing for consistency and will be finishing a run next block, or if he'll be finishing one this block. It's good to have a lot of players of different skill levels here, because we could really see like how Puzon approaches a situation versus how Devil is approaching a situation. It gives some very creative insights.
Speaking of creative insight, just watching you speedrunning gives me ideas of things to suggest to Fran to see about adding option. Ooh, a miss on that huge you'll hit. But in the previous room, there's a secondary path where there could be 2 mines going up. And I'm like, what would have happened if we brought those all the way near the top, allowing you to kind of squeeze through and bypass the need to shoot them? Weird ideas like that pop in the head.
Yeah, it's definitely from a player you see one thing, but as the creative assistant and the developer, I'm sure you guys are watching the occasional stream, that you definitely have, or you almost certainly have, just tons of ideas going, but what if we
I don't know, Fran. I think it's more the case of being like, "Hey, Fran, what do you think about this idea?" And you're like, "More work."
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's funny because every time I talk to Jack like Fear about whatever, I end up just having more work to do.
I'm sorry.
Eventually, you're gonna try to DM Fran. He's just be like, "No, I'm not listening to you anymore."
You know, it's never been like that. At least, if so, I'm clueless about it, which is nice. But no, Fran has just been absolutely wonderful to work with over the years, and it's one of the things that, in fact, there are plenty of times where Fran's like, "I'm not going to do that," and I'm like, "Okay, next."
Yeah. Fran has final say in everything, I'm sure. So it's like, no. And you're like, all right, I'm accepting that. Not changing this one.
It is interesting. Puzan may be working on Chapter 7, but 2 other people are who Plywood just took a death on Sewer Junk, while DevilDude is working on Lieutenant Marcuson.
What the heck? Sorry. If you hear that, let me know, and I will definitely mute and figure that out. Yeah, I see. In fact, Devil actually just managed to beat him, so Devil's moving into 4. I'm curious if Devil has worked on Mind Skip or not. He, I'm excited to see if he's gonna go grab the detector or not. It'll be a very different route if he does. Did you happen to see how many tentacles Plywood picked on Sewer? By the way, it looks like he picked 6.
Option 6, correct.
So, I wonder why, if 6 is the slower option, but it's less bullets on screen. What have you seen runners predominantly picking 6, or have you seen runners picking a mix of 6 and 8? Do you know?
Yeah, I think most people pick 6, so you get less projectiles.
So it really is just, it's worth it to take the little time loss to guarantee less projectiles?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they do a fair bit of damage.
It's not only that, but they take longer to shoot. And that opportunity means you have to spend more time dodging.
You're absolutely right. They do definitely take longer to shoot. So it looks like Devil will be going for the mine detector, by the way. It doesn't look like he's confident in Mind Skip yet.
I think it would be really neat to bring Devil on main screen then, if that's okay, because then we get to finally see one of the favorite bosses that all of you are sad to skip, Turret Storm.
I definitely would agree with that. Turret Storm is, in my opinion, probably the best boss in the game. I don't think that's too much of a hot take. Like, this boss is so fun to execute on. It's 10 shots, and if you do it right, that's it. It's 10 shots, and you're in, you're out. It's great.
Yeah, you can do it without a single turret going down as well. Yeah, it's cool, but it is a very, very cool boss.
Non-perfect all bosses just for Turret Swarm. That's how much Turret Swarm is missed.
Now, while we are working forward on getting Turret Storm on the screen, Puzan doing Black Thunder, everybody is choosing the Kodiak. I find it interesting because on Unperfect Heart, you actually choose the hovercraft with the rockets. At least it's my humble opinion that's the best way to do it, and it's because of the fact that you have increased damage with rockets from the experience you gain, so you're able to get a quick kill.
Yeah, there's also something else. There's something else. So in hard mode, the river becomes much more narrower, and it's quite hard. And with the hovercraft, you have more angle. You have more, more space to maneuverate.
The other thing is, because of the chunky damage of the rockets, you skip a lot of the time duration in the ultra thin river. So, by nature of it, it's pretty nice.
Huh.
Well, that was something.
I believe Puzon has once again taken priority, but this time on ItsDevilDude.
Yep. I believe that Puzon's ultimate goal is to literally just control everyone, and if someone gets a world record, he owns it.
Puzon's job is to just claim it no matter who's in it.
It's an interesting strategy.
If anyone gets a world record, Puzon gets a world record.
Oh lord. Fun. Anyway, what we were talking about Black Thunder. I wanted to go back to that. You said the rockets do extra damage. Is that is from the increased bullet, quote unquote bullet
Nope.
damage, correct? That's something
And I
else?
believe I'm going off memory here. I may be off by one. On level 5 or 6, I think it's 6. Bullets deal extra damage, affects the Zodiac, which is the boat we've been seeing. The next level gives a 30% damage bonus to rockets, which affect the hovercraft, and that takes it to a very quick kill. Not only a very quick kill, but if you're skilled enough, a consistent quick kill. Where the Zodiac's bullet approach is dependent upon the pattern of Black Thunder itself.
Okay, I didn't realize. So you would say the rockets, while they're, I would argue, harder to hit, definitely do significantly more damage when they do hit?
Yes. Fran could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe without the power-up, they do 6 rockets and it's over.
I can't tell you the exact number, but yes, of course, rockets do more damage.
I see. Yeah, I know that I think a lot of the times in speedrunning, you kind of just pick something, someone starts doing that something, and then that just becomes the something you do, and that a lot of the time can lead to, well, now we just do that thing, and then someone new comes in to the community, or, you know, we have 8 different people running, and we start to see something new, and then someone goes, all right, let's time this, and next thing you know, routes just change on the fly like that. So I mean, it's entirely possible that a month from now, we've completely abandoned the Zodiac and we do the whole game with what's the other one?
Hovercraft.
Like we completely abandon the one you see every day and we swap it over, even without the damage, because a lot of the time the runners at this point aren't actually gaining 6 or 7 until chapter 9, so they're not actually benefiting from that extra damage. So if the rockets are better either way, I definitely could see the community swapping over to that method.
Well, no, it is, at least from the timing that I understand in practice. The rockets are consistent because it's the cooldown timer per rocket, which I think is about 3 seconds, and then you shoot a rocket and it hits. So that means that the quick kill can be a 12-second kill, essentially, plus travel time of the final projectile. With the Zodiac, because of the nature of how the bullets are hitting, you can actually get around 15-ish to 17-ish seconds is what it feels like. I might be wrong because I've been watching other people do it. So because of the damage reduction or the damage improvement of the talent that you don't get in any percent, that's why it shaves down to being consistently low speed. But at full normal damage on the rockets, I'm stumbling over myself. Sorry about that. It's just a consistent time, assuming you don't miss a single shot. It's actually kind of like Grenade Guy in that sense, in the way that it feels. So,
yeah, it's very interesting, just like listening to the insights on how all this stuff works.
But a lot of this stuff, that's less developer commentary and me just running the game on a harder difficulty for the different percentage category. Ooh, bad pattern for this. Who's on the main screen? Because I know it's...
Trying to figure that out right now.
Gotcha. Well, I speculate we're gonna call it... It's Plyzon Green, okay? It's Plyzon Green, combining all their names. It's doing well, running around in Chapter 9. So,
Sorry, I'm working on this. I'll get back.
No problem. So this is Puzon on main screen is what I'm being told in chat. So.
Okay. Yes, that would be Puzon on mainstream.
Gotcha. Well, while we're watching and going on this, Fran, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
You have not had an opportunity to see much of the speed run of this game, your game. How does it feel seeing multiple people playing it and running past and destroying it in such a short time?
It feels weird because there's some tricks I apply on my own game, but finding these new ways to just bypass everything is amazing. So I'm proud of speedrunners. In fact, when I found out they were going to speed run the game, I was wondering myself how they should manage to bypass the dog, to bypass the mines, to bypass the... I even didn't think about bypassing the spiders, the red room without the suit. So it feels it's strange, but not in a bad way. So I know they're speedrunners, they're professionals, and they play a lot. And for me, I feel proud for them, of course, and weird. I don't know how to tell it. It's hard to express emotion sometimes. So
yeah.
Look, he's going through the wires. He knows the whole combination of memory, the wire.
Yeah.
Or they're following some notes that are just left of their monitor.
And something else I'm going to tell you. I feel important. You know why? Because people are memorizing something I did. So I don't know why, but that makes me feel important some way, because it's like being studied. you know what I mean?
Well,
absolutely.
That's awesome to hear. Another follow-up question while we're looking at this. Do you think that this experience may affect the way you think and brainstorm how you do games in the future?
Yeah, of course. So now, next time I do a game, I'm going to have in mind that there's going to be there can be speedrunners playing it. So yes, the question is yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to tell you something. In level 9, this is the Labyrinth, the catacombs. So you can't go without the goggles. You can't proceed by programming. So if you don't have them, you're pulled back. And I said, so maybe I could do it, but then I know the speedrunners that could take advantage of it. But I thought on normal players, and I said to myself, if someone thinks that they have to go blind and goes 2 or 3 screens goes to 2 or 3 screens, then they can't go back. They're going to play the game and they're going to tell that it's too hard, and they're going to rage quit and and have a bad opinion about it. So that's why I force the player to go back to get the goggles, just in order to prevent players thinking that it has to be done without the goggles.
Yeah, that makes sense, because when I first went down there without the goggles, I actually found the goggles casually first, but then I went down there a second time just to see what happened, because you definitely thought of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of small hidden interactions. So when I went down there the first time without them, and I got I got Jesse saying it was too dark to see. I was like, oh, okay. So there is actually something there. But yeah, I mean, definitely, if you had given us the option to do it in the dark, I promise you, we would be doing it in the dark.
Yeah. I have another game, a small one called Mini Coast, and it has the same. Just some 5-6 screens, completely dark. You need Google something similar, and speedrunners just go through it in darkness, and they know where to go, where to do the exact jump to go here and there, and I felt amazed as well. So, oh my god. But next time, I will try to do it so you can do it without the item, even if it helps a lot. Like the mines, or like what else? Oh yeah, the suits.
Yeah, I would say those are the two big items that are skipped. Mine detector, which it was probably meant to be intended, and the suit, which was also probably meant to be intended. But so I guess since we're talking about this, why did you decide to force the player to need the goggles, but you didn't put a message in where it's like, telling the player that they shouldn't do the red room without the radiation suit?
Yeah, it does tell you not to do the radiation room without the suit.
You get a warning, but it doesn't explicitly stop you like the dungeon stops you, is what I mean.
I mean,
Well,
obviously, Fran has the answers to this, but I've got feelings on it for sure. you good, Fran?
I've got a one sentence, but go ahead, Fran.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. The thing is, if you enter the red room without the suit, you die. It's just a matter of seconds. So the player knows for sure he can do it because he will die the first screen.
Understood.
I mean the first room. However, in the labyrinth, he can go on, and then he can get lost, and again he can think some way. He can think that he has to do it blindly. And that's the problem. That's the difference between one and another one. So, it's like the minefield. So you can go, but he's gonna die, and of course I need something here. And he's going to go somewhere else.
So the thought process that the player would have the feedback of, I'm going to be killed here, I'm obviously missing something, whereas the labyrinth, because you have that checkpoint, in the labyrinth, if they somehow made it there, they could potentially end up in a very bad spot.
Yeah, that's
it even gets worse, because if you think about it, there are spots in there that if there's no enemies nearby, you can use a potty and load from the potty in the darkness as well.
Yeah.
That's also part of the reason why there's no checkpoints in that or other parts of the game. Whenever I ask Fran about it, specifically to prevent a situation where you're just locked in and unable to proceed or go back in many cases.
Like after the red room, there's cameras, and many people ask me, so why isn't there a checkpoint? Should be the best place for an automatic checkpoint. Well, the thing is, if you don't have enough electromagnetic grenades, you just can't. You're stuck. You can't proceed, and then you have to restart the chapter again. And then the logic question is, why don't you supply enough EMP grenades? So then you're breaking the game and giving you everything. So should be too noob from my point of view.
I take that personally because I was definitely one of the people who sat down with Jack and was like, all right, so why is there not a checkpoint here? And what can we do about it? And we discussed maybe adding EMP grenades to this location. And now I'm seeing, oh, okay, you were just like, no, not going to do that.
Yeah, there's a parties as well, so it's a perfect place to use a party, and that's something as well. So good players, so they might use the party in very clever situations, and they should be proud of themselves because they feel clever to do it. But if you ruin this scenario, so they could feel bad, So if you just keep saving all the time, so they can't use the party in a clever way. And for me as a player, well, I don't like it.
Yeah, there is always the option of the potty. I know right now during the speedrun, players pick up 2 potties. It's typically before the red room and after the red room is where we use them. That's definitely what we're doing right now.
So, I got a question from someone on staff for you, Fran. They are asking about the General X's office near the end. They want to know if it's actually your office because, and I quote, the dialogue about the stereo is oddly specific.
No, it's definitely not my office. In fact, I have just small desk, well, two desks, one with the computer and everything, and the other desk with the software development kits, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, the Switch one, the Vita, and my MSX, my first computer I ever had. So it's here with me all the time. The music stuff, I don't know why. I just felt it. I just got it from a movie. I can't remember which one is right now. Oh wow, it's bro, it has this, has that. Oh, it's amazing. And from now our point of view is very old. So maybe later I'll put my finger on it and I'll tell you.
So Puzon just finished, and wow, right? What do you know? Right.
Oh my
there.
God, 49.
We got the 49 from Puzon. 2 hours in. Let's go, Puzon.
I guess. Wow. Then we definitely have to update the overlay. And
49-23. And it's been updated. There we go. Congrats.
well, that's nuts. Now it's just up to Plywood to beat that.
Yeah, when that time of 50 got said, I was like, "Are you guys for real? Like, are you sure this is gonna be doable?" And then you get people like Puzon and Glenn and Plywood who are just like, "Yeah, I'll just sub 50, no problem."
So,
But yeah, that's the current world record for the game.
oh man,
now
I'm worried about 45 at this point with the way all of you are running.
Now it's time for Puzon to tell us he wasn't recording. Puzon, no.
So-
GG's, congrats. What's up?
I'm sorry, I'm dumbfounded at the moment. Don't mind me.
No, it's fine. I mean, like, let's look at these levels here. If you don't have anything to add, I mean, you were about to
Go
say
ahead.
something. I cut you off.
No, go ahead, please.
Like, it's just stages. 9 is definitely proving to be the longest consistently. I think that was what 3 and 4 were both about 7 minutes. Stage 9 is 8. It's at a 49-minute run. That is 14:22. That is essentially just under half the run in those 3 stages. Was it? Well, I don't want to know. I don't know what I'm trying to ask. Not 4. I meant 2, 3, and 9. Does it surprise you that almost all the run consists of stages 2, 3, and 9, or does that roughly come out at what you expected? Oh my God, Puzon. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
We just got on record. Puzon actually did forget to record.
Oh my God.
He's gonna do it again.
Oh boy.
That's amazing.
Well, we all saw the 49:23, so we have that. That's locked in. We're not changing that. We just might not have the footage. But yeah, so yeah, what do you guys think of the fact that chapters 2, 3, and 9 are the majority of the content? Did you feel that it would end up that way? Did you feel certain chapters would definitely be longer, definitely be shorter? Do you think there's potentials for that to flip? What are your opinions on that?
Is that specifically for Fran or I, or for
Just asking the crowd, really? Like, what is everyone's opinions on that? Anyone who wants to answer that is free to.
Honestly, 9 obviously is the largest chapter, by far. But when it comes to 2 and 3, I find that kind of surprising, only because of the fact that a lot of people, by nature of the way that, for example, 5 happens to be, I didn't expect 5 to be 2 or 3 minutes long, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
that's
neither.
one-
Neither.
Yeah.
Especially having to go back, save, and you have to be very careful in this chapter. And I was very surprised to see the speedrunners just going directly, bypassing everything and go straight to the boss. I was expecting more work here in chapter 5. So I agree with Jack Like Fear in this.
I'd like to point out really quickly, Puzon actually chose not to get the secret in stage 1. Interesting choice. I'm curious to see what he's gonna route in instead. Yeah, go on. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to point that out. That caught me a surprise.
Right. Let's just break it down. 6 is meant to be a very short mission. 7, which is the boondocks, where you're walking around outside, can take a lot of time for a casual playthrough.
Yes.
Especially because a lot of the time is learning and working with the bosses. So, specifically the nuclear sub.
Yes, I can agree with that.
What I find fascinating is Puzon actually makes that guard awake instead of asleep.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I guess he's decided he doesn't need that experience.
I mean, he does take a step and a half forward, so it's quicker to punch him, but he punches him to the right, so you're moving after him to get the stick. So it's almost like there's no time save per se.
He also doesn't grab. He used to grab the potty on in that room as well, but I've noticed he started skipping that. I think Puzon is ready to start cutting out all unnecessary time loss. If he commits to this run, let's just say the 49 we just saw might be the tip of the iceberg if he's about to do what I think he's going to try. Oh, Lord.
Guys, I am going to jump in front of you and read some donations if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Zero Kieran, thank you for donating 30 euros, my friend. And Miri I want to say Shellen.
Mirachelin.
Freaking doctor. Doctor.
Mirachelin. Sorry, I just saw your note.
Mirachelin donated 15 euros as well. And Jack Lifia, thank you for donating 49 euros and 23. Matching the first break. Congratulations. Congratulations to Puzon. That was a hell of a run. Thank you everyone for your donations. Fran, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell us more about the charity you chose for this event?
Well, this charity is, for me, it's a very special charity company because 4 or 5 years ago, I started a project about a video game called Afraid Project African 8, which the purpose of the game was that the player, as he progress in the game, so the money he spent on it was being donated to non-profits. And I needed, I've been just talking to different non-profits here and there, but I needed to go to Africa to see it with my own eyes and see what's happening there. And I tried to in fact, I asked some companies if I could go with them and have a look, and they all rejected, some sort of secrecy. But it turns out that I found this foundation called Kasumai Foundation, and they opened their arms to me, and they told me that I could go with them. They should be proud to show everything they did there, and we did. We went to Senegal, and we stayed there for a week, and they show me their actions, what they're working on, the people that were trying to help, and so I also took advantage being there to just to get pictures of everything, textures, and all material they needed to do the game, and especially to do the crowdfunding campaign and the video and everything. So the thing is, as we went back, I finished the Kickstarter campaign. I published it, and unfortunately, it didn't work. So I didn't do the marketing correctly. And outside of Spain, here in Spain was very known, and most of the money raised was from Spain. But outside, it was a total unknown project. So in the end, it didn't work. And so now, taking advantage of this speedrun event, I choose Kazumai Foundations because he's the one that invited me to go with them and show the project, and I think they're doing very nice work. And especially the second, excuse me if
okay.
the second reason is that Kazumai Foundation is a small one. And that means that very little money means a lot to them, and this event can make a big difference. Unlike other big companies, other big non-profits, like could be, for instance, Médecins Sans Frontières or all big ones, like Save the Children and all these, very well known. So that's the reason I choose Kazumai.
One of the things that I would like to add is that when preparing for the Kickstarter campaign, Fran was able to actually show some of the things that were done in person about that. So what I can ultimately and honestly say is it's just humbling to be able to, even after what happened with the Kickstarter, be able to see some direction and such going forward with that, and being able to help people out there.
Yeah, in fact, Jesse Fox, for instance, is the main character of the Afraid project. And I said, as the Kickstarter campaign didn't work, so maybe I can find a way to make this character more famous, more known for a later, if I try it later or not. So I just took advantage. I get Jesse Fox and I create this story. So you can see Sarah, which is the girl in the car, in the ATV with Jesse, and she's also a character from this project, from Fred project.
Gotcha. Sergeant Apache, any other questions or thoughts?
No, I just I really like that that it will do real help, because I've done a lot of raising money for charity, and you kind of don't know what effect it'll have or where it will go. So it is wonderful to hear that it will be a big deal to them.
Yeah, I've never been to Africa personally, but I have family that's gone on trips to Africa. They went on a missionary trip, I think, maybe 3 years ago, and they could vouch for everything you say. They've seen the improvements. They've seen what it's like where they're not receiving the kind of help that they could. So yeah, like foundations like this are great. They definitely do a lot of good. So it's very good to support places like this, especially the less well-known ones, because every charity does, well, not every, but for the most part, charities deserve to be out there and receive some love for the work that they put out there and the work they do.
Yeah, I had a very different vision from before I went to Africa. So I thought the whole Africa need help, and that's not the way it works. So for instance, these foundations is not working for Senegal itself. It's working for some people with polio. So polio is a disease you get when you are younger, and then your bones doesn't develop correctly, and then you can't walk correctly, and maybe you can have some deformed foot, and so it's hard to earn your salary when you have polio in Africa. So for instance, they're helping them, and helping just not giving the money to them to live. They give them a way to earn the money by creating some sort of I'm not sure if I can explain this in English, but these machines to create clothing. So they just do clothing and they create purse and all the stuff that they can sell it later. So,
That
and
is awesome.
yeah, and they also provide them with some sort of special bicycles where they can use their hands just to throttle forward, so they can just go here and there with no extra help. Besides, hold on, please. Not now.
They're calling you. They want to know more details.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
all that.
one calls me never, and now they're calling me now.
Okay.
So besides they create hospitals, because there's a law in Senegal that if you have a maternity, well, I don't know what's the word in English. So it's a special place when women go there to give birth to their babies. So the thing is, if you have one of these buildings, so the government is forced to send a full-time doctor there. So just by having this facility, they have a free doctor, and so they work on this as well. And last but not least, on hordes. I mean, these place where women grow the vegetables and food, and they have some just using solar energy. It's amazing how many solar panels I saw in Senegal. Solar panel and television, watching soccer is the favorite hobby.
Wow.
And I saw children, I saw them really happy, just playing soccer and having fun. So don't see Africa or like a place that everyone is crying and being hungry. Just a place where people live normal lives, but sometimes have a particular problem, like for instance, there's I don't know, it's not raining where it's supposed to rain, then problems come, or there's a war, but by default, they live their lives and everything is more or less okay. But it depends on the place, of course, but Africa is a very, very large place.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. I actually saw a fellow give a lecture at Lancaster University, and he showed multiple pictures, and he said, where do you think this is? And people were saying like, oh, it's Miami or it's California, and he was saying, no, it's this and that. This is in Africa. It's what Africa looks like in many places. It's a very developed place. But as you say, some people are worse off than others.
And African people think differently than we do. So by default, I thought they were having the same, not principles, the same thoughts. But for instance, someone goes there from Europe and see a school, and the school is about to collapse. There's maybe bats on the ceiling, and the European guy goes there and says, "Hey, we want to help you by rebuilding this school and make it more safe." However, African people, they don't ask for security. It's pussy. So they prefer just to have books and have pencils and papers to work. So safety is not a priority for them. Well, here, at least in Europe and in America, of course, safety is something sacred. It's holy, so sacred. I don't know, here in Spain, for instance, when I drive my car, I have to fasten my belt and have all the security measures in the car, However, there I could just go at the back of a pickup and with no safety measures, and I was the happiest guy in the world. So it's just it's different. It's different.
Different priorities, right?
Yeah, absolutely different priorities and different style of life as well.
Just so everyone is aware, we are giving away copies of the game. So we've stole some of Fran's games while he wasn't looking. We're giving them away in the chat. We didn't really. Versus Evil gave us some keys for the game. So anyone who types in the chat for the next, I said 30 minutes ago, but that was like a little while ago. In about 30 odd minutes, I'll draw 3 keys and I will message you with the key as well. So anyone who types in the chat, you're eligible to win a copy of the game. It's a good game too. I've got 200 hours in it.
And for the joke, we can dedicate all this to Puzon for getting a world record for a run he didn't commit.
That's good. That's clever. That's clever.
So.
All right, let's see some sheeps from Puzon for the fans.
Yeah, that's a way to destroy a world record.
No, I don't think, because you only go through them once, right? Because you get out of there using the chloroform. So
Yeah, but
you only have to go through them once.
That destroys everything.
It's slower, but it's not that
Run in, though.
bad. It's not that bad, right? It's not going to ruin your whole run.
It's going to ruin your whole run.
I can say for a fact, sheep take about 35 seconds to get through if you're not eating.
He did it! He did it!
Oh my
He did it!
God,
I
no.
knew it!
Sheep takes about like 35 seconds to get through before counting for breaking boxes. So
I just want to
That's
say,
so funny.
traditionally speaking, whenever this happens on other streamers, people start spamming "ba" in chat when that happens.
I can
That's-
believe that. I do also want to draw some attention to Plywood. Plywood is currently in the catacombs. I'm not sure what pace he's on, but he will be finishing soon, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on him. And Devil has actually finally reached Chapter 9 as well. We have 2 people in Chapter 9, so we could be seeing two possible new PBs coming up here, with Nick hot on their heels. So all screens are hot right now. Oh no!
Oh, Plywood with the reset.
Commentator's curse. I'm
That
so
is-
sorry.
That is a possible curse right there.
Oh, dude. Yikes! I'm so sorry, Plywood.
By the way, can you see the cross is blue?
The cross is blue.
Yeah, the cross in the sick bay is blue.
I see
We'll
what
see
you're
it.
talking about.
We'll see it later. Oh no,
Yeah.
no, we won't see it anymore.
But there's a reason you brought that up. Why did you bring
Yes.
up about how the cross is blue?
Yeah, the thing is, Sony, in his jersey, they don't allow to use symbols that really exist, like the red cross. So they told me I had to change it. And I just changed the color to blue. Otherwise, the game shouldn't come out for PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The more you know. I don't know if everyone finds stuff like that fascinating, but that's just it's so I love finding out these small like details about games. Like just this one thing and everything works. It's crazy how stuff kind of just falls into place like that when you make one small change.
So
So
we've got Puzon in the jungle. We've got 2 people on the first early chapter. And then, or no, I'm sorry, a chapter 1, a chapter 8, and DevilDude is working through the Omega building on 3rd floor.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to DevilDude's time, by the way.
I'm not gonna say anything. We know what
Oh.
happens.
Hey, all I'm doing is saying where they are at the time. So if commentator's curse is you are legitimately in this area, I'm so sorry. I'm not used to this.
I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
All right. So who can we curse? There's the actually, looks like DevilDude had an alert.
Oh no. Oh boy. Thankfully, he actually tried to fight that alert out. Interesting choice, but he did take the safety potty, which is a good call because an alert here is very you it's essentially you have to reload your save if you take an alert here. There's too many guards coming up to be able to fight that. I've tried. It's hard. It's not gonna happen. There's just too many. So I respect the reload or taking the save. Impressive that he's trying to fight that out though.
You know, I find it funny that you say that the alerts for these mercenaries in particular are more challenging. For people who don't know, the alerts on that floor in particular have increased perception. So instead of a 90-degree cone in front of them, they have 180 degrees. But also, they have less hit points, so it only takes one punch instead of 3 punches. And also, when they're alerted, they come on swarm. So, what makes it very interesting is I actually find it easier to survive an alert with them, mostly because of all the terrain around them have a lot of really nice corners. You just have to make sure you don't do the corner punch where you turn around the corner and punch around to go straight into the shot of like 50 guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, in fact, let's see how DevilDude, aka Puzon Imposter, just took down the samurai.
I'm still getting used to this swap thing. I gotta understand this. I'm glad you understood that whenever there's a swap, Puzon is the new automatic player. Just
well,
regardless.
I mean, yeah, no, that's how they become. Puzon has ultimate imposter syndrome. It's just different than what you think.
If this was a game of Among Us, remember that game? If this was a game of Among Us, Puzon would always win, is what I'm hearing.
Don't mind the Jesse walking down the hallway in the red suit. The red, in fact, maybe that's it. We need to turn around and make the anti-rad suit red. And then we'll just call it an Among Us down. No. It's all good. My personal jokes are bad.
Hey, you gotta pass the time somehow, and that works.
You know, that's that is the case. So if anyone in chat, since we have a little in time, if you have any questions about the game, speedrunning the game, or such like that, it's easy enough to ask here. In the meantime, though, Sergeant, you have speedrun quite a few games. My question to you is, how easy was UnMetal to get into?
Well, considering we had notes for the 3 sections that really required them, the maze, the wires, and the labyrinth, I'd say it wasn't too hard. After I beat the game, my first run took me 2 hours, and I'm gonna have to talk about 1.0 because I decided to start on console, which finally console just got updated to 1.4. If you guys have been playing on 1.1 yesterday, I'm super excited to play through that. But we've been dealing with 1.0 mines for a long time now, so it took me,
Can you elaborate on 1.0 mines? Because you have referenced this as almost a trauma experience for you. Can you elaborate on it for people?
It is a trauma experience. Because if you've played this game on hard, imagine that, but it's easy. It's also hard and medium. It's literally just how mines work on 1.0. If the mine detector has to essentially literally pass over the mine, but also 3 mines, sorry, 3, I think I've seen 5 mines will just spawn touching each other. So you'll like have a really good line that you're like, oh, this line is working, I'm checking, I'm getting, and then suddenly 6 mines left, right in front of you, and you have to U-turn and work your way back through the minefield to find a new path just for another set of 6 mines to show up. It can be rough, and yeah, if you accidentally hit the roll button in that minefield, you have just coin flipped Jesse's life. You will probably not be alive very long.
That's actually the reason why the Minesweeper also got adjusted. I don't even know if you've recognized it since you haven't gotten the Minesweeper since the patch.
No, I actually was too scared to learn the new route. I pulled the Minesweeper out. I was like, oh, we're gonna learn how the new Minesweeper works. Then we're gonna learn the new line. So no, I have seen it, and wow.
So, other than having more range, did you know that if you hold the button, normally you're just sweeping in front of you, but you can change directions without moving any pixels, so you can rotate in position with the Minesweeper.
Gonna be honest, I was so fascinated by the fact that the range was bigger that I have not tested that feature yet. Completely forgot. I'm so used to 1.0. Where I literally have gotten in the habit of, because it literally detects under the head, I check the one to my right, because you have to, and I check the 2 in front of me, and then I cancel and step forward, and then cancel and step forward. I'm not used to being able to turn around. I'm not used to having that kind of range. It's gonna take me a little bit to get used to it, but I'm excited to put a run up on a 1.4 console and really see all the changes that have been put into. Oh no, Devil gets. Why can they do that? Why can they shoot you when you're going down the elevator?
Well, because there's no walls on the elevator, giant open holes, and bullets fit through holes.
They also...
Exactly. Yeah, that's.
All right. I'm sold. I'm convinced.
I'm just saying, like, I find it funny. Sorry, you're going to get me on a rant here. How many times have you played a video game where an enemy looks at you through a window and they can't see you?
Yes.
So, I do have to say though, an alternative answer from the Real C. Miller, who was a person who helped out with the audio engineering of the Creator Pack. It's science. Science is the correct answer.
I'm sold. I cannot argue with science.
So, no, that going back on to there's a lot of quality of life that's in the patch that is coming out for consoles and such. It's on PSN. It may be in final certification for other consoles as well, but it's coming very soon, if not already. But that was the biggest first focus, was fixing difficulties for medium and easy, because the game was built with hard as the default mentality. Fran, you like your games hard, I've noticed.
Well, the thing is hard. Before you start just working on difficulties, the normal level for me is what becomes hard in the end. So after the game is finished, I have to nerf it to normal, and then I have to nerf it again to easy. So yes, the thing is, I don't like the hard. The thing is, as I know, every corner of it for me is easy. So I don't have the perspective of a player, the objective point of view, and that's why I have to end up just nerfing it just to a lower, to a normal level.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, we have the one-shot kill. I don't think in gameplay. I think if you are just crossed by a laser, you have to die. Or if you step on a mine, you have to die as well. So in these cases, I try to think more in not real life, but something using more the logical than the game playing itself. And then it's when Jack Fear tells me, "Hey friend, maybe you should just do this and do some damage but not dying." And I say, "Oh come on, a missile from a nuclear soup just went over you. You have to die." Okay, we will do it less damage as you wish for easy. So as a regular basis, I tend to accept everything on easy, because easy is easy. It's for people that have problems and for speedrunners as well. But in normal, I prefer to just remain it as untouched as possible, just to keep the spirit of the game.
Yeah, you're a really big fan of the MSX, so I've been told. Would you say most MSX games don't typically have a difficulty? It's generally just you start the game, and it's back then games were tended to be one difficulty, pretty brutal. Would you say that's pretty fair?
Well, the thing is, in the MSX era, so computers had very little memory, excuse me. So they couldn't do, a lot of maps and a lot of scenarios. They were reduced to a few ones. So in order to play a lot, they had to be difficult, and they did it on purpose. So you die, and then you have to restart again. And that was the motto of MSX games. And some of them were really, really, really hard. But you could stay just afternoons at home with a friend just trying to pass one level and try again and try again and try again. Just exactly in the same way you're doing now. But in your MSX, because you had this game, only that game, the game you could buy with the pay of the month. So, but Konami changed everything. So Konami, but first off, they created codes where you could just get a code, and you could type it later and continue your adventure, and create those cartridges with more than 32 kilobytes. They could reach up to 1 megabyte, and then they could start doing big scenarios and big adventures like the first Metal Gear or Metal Gear. On all these games are famous in the MSX era because you could have a real adventure, not just facing something hard and repeat the same level over and over again because there was nothing else to do actually. And so maybe that's why I like not hard games, but something you can make an effort on it. And something as well different is that there were no tutorials. So once you start the play, the first thing you did was to touch all keys from your keyboard and find out what could you do, instead of just waiting a tutorial to say you press this key to do that. Okay, we already knew because we tried everything because there was no tutorials. So, well, there was the user's manual, but normally it came in English, and in Spain when you were a kid, so 30 years ago we didn't have that skill on English, so we just tried everything and found out by ourselves what to do and how to play.
One of the things that I find funny, and you said there was no tutorials, I miss a user manual actually having a good amount of pages and having art and things to explain.
I could agree with that. Yeah, a lot of like modern games, you get the case, and it's still the old-fashioned case. It has the clips where a manual would slide in. You're lucky if there's even a single pamphlet of paper in there. Sometimes games don't provide anything anymore a lot of the time. So those nice the nice books from the older days that just have art, details, the entire story sometimes. That's it's unfortunate that we're losing those now.
Well, the thing is not losing, it's just moved from a paper to inside the game.
You're absolutely right. It's just been moved. There's a certain like charm to having that kind of thing physically versus having that kind of digital.
Yeah, it's a charm. It's absolutely a charm. Even the box. So I got given a box at the school because a friend of mine, whatever, just we shop games, and I had this box with all the writing on the back, and of course I couldn't play it because I was at the school. I had to wait to finish everything, go back home, and load the game with the tape. In the meanwhile, I was just reading the back of the back of the box, just imagining how the game, what the game could be. And it was exciting because it's your imagination just flying around until you play the game itself.
Yep.
I know I'm not the only one that sat like when at least here in America, I don't know how it was for the rest of the world. Blockbuster was everywhere. And I remember being able to rent a game, sit in the back of the car on the way home, reading the back of the box and being like, there's no manual, but that's okay, like going through that thought process as well. I'm kind of curious if anyone out in chat has that experience or anything like that. How about you, Sergeant? How often were you... Oh, hey, welcome back, Apache.
Hey.
How often were you thinking about video games in the back of a car?
Yeah, I can remember quite clearly. We used to get like the bus into town, so like we'd go to and get the bus, and then on the way back we'd just sit at the back of the bus and stare at the case. So just like page through the manual until we could run home and actually put it on. Yeah, I've got a lot of great memories of doing that.
Our book. Read our book. Read our book. Uh-huh.
Can
So-
you? Let's explain the art book.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's
the
an
art
open
book's
book.
fantastic. Let's see if DevilDude will open it. No, he probably shouldn't, but
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
of course not. Of course not. Of course not. So talking about, use of manual. So nowadays, I also create games for MSX in physical cartridge with bugs, and of course, I use this manual. And I was talking to the guy that just created the box itself and the manual and used to sell it. And we were arguing about the manual, and he told me literally, Fran, nobody reads the manual. What you say? I can't believe it. So yes, I can tell you explicitly, no one is reading the manual. So I asked him why, and he told me, for instance, an example. There's a game he was selling from another developer, where you could not jump. You could go up, down the ladders and left, right, but you could not jump. And a lot of people were just emailing him or just putting in contact with him, asking him how to jump. And he told them, "Did you read the user's manual?" They replied, "No, I didn't." "Okay, read it and you'll find out." So it's weird because I thought that having the user's manual, the first thing you should do is to read it or have a look at it, But according to him, we're talking about today, right today, not back in the time. I mean, right today, with the MSX games are coming out today. But he says that no one is reading them, or well, not no one, but a little amount of people.
Mhm.
Curious, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. It definitely is.
Yeah. In fact, yesterday I was working the user's manual of Prisoner of War, which is the MSX game I created before UnMetal, and what UnMetal is based on, especially in the scenarios and the maps and everything. Because the guy that was selling the game in MSX quitted. He's not doing anymore, so I found another one, and I had to do the manual again. And I did 20 pages. And I had fun doing the manual, just inserting all the items, descriptions, and how to work, how to play, the tips, the inventory, how everything works. And it was great, and just designing a user's manual, so I had fun doing it.
Quick shout outs to Nick. Congratulations on his first sub-hour time.
nearly
wow!
nearly a 10-minute improvement.
58.
Let's go, Nick.
Nick.
No, it's more than a 10-minute improvement, right? I can't do math.
Oh yeah, that is.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely unreal.
Dude, can we have some applause in chat for Nick?
Oh, I'm holding my applause till he says he recorded it.
Guys, just so you're all aware, I'm going to draw some names. Anyone who's been typing in the chat, you get drawn for a key. I'm going to draw 3 in just a moment. I will reach out to you all independently on Twitch to provide you the key, so just keep a lookout for that. And thank you, Fran, as well, for the €100 donation. Absolutely massive. We've raised €257.60 for Fundacio Casumai. If I said that correctly.
Fran, can you please say it properly
Kasumai.
for us?
Kasumai.
Kasumai.
I think I said it right. I think I said it right.
You did.
Incredible run from Nick. Great job, dude.
In fact, Kasumai means hello
Oh, okay.
in their language, in La Casamance, the region they're working. So Kasumai is a way of saying hello, hailing someone. Kasumai.
Oh, I'll never forget that.
So
Tomorrow I will ask you again. Let's see if you remember. No, I'm joking.
I'll be ready. I didn't know there was going to be a test, but I'll be ready.
That's unfortunate. Devil had his bandages stolen, so if he gets hurt and needs to heal, he can't do that anymore.
that is actually set up by default, if I'm correct, right, Fran?
Yeah, it's on purpose, so you can't use them.
Oh, never noticed that before.
Yeah. So the items you restore, it's just random, except a couple of them. One is bandage.
Oh, I did not know the bandage was actually scripted. I knew the wire was.
Yeah, the wire and the bandage. There's the two items are scripted on purpose. You know, just to prevent game breaking.
Yeah, I completely understand. Ooh, did Devil did it? All right, we're gonna see Devil's PB here. We're gonna see Devil's time here. Congratulations on to Devil. I love the ending of this game, by the way. I think that scene at the end there, literally one of the best scenes in the game. Hands down. That man
And
had a very convincing argument. Yep, there
I'd
we go.
say-
Congratulations, Devil. 9 minutes and 6 seconds PB.
that is awesome. And had some critical issues in Chapter 9. So the major room for improvement there. There was just a few very unlucky moments where they fell down right before a checkpoint, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one time they fell down on the elevator where the checkpoint is outside the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the whole goal of speedrunning is to keep doing it and getting better and getting better. So I'm excited to see where he keeps going with this game.
I mean, at this rate, slicing off 10 minutes at a time, maybe Puzon has to impersonate DevilDude to break the next record. You know?
Oh, I like
definitely.
Nick's creative idea here as well.
So, so now that we've got DevilDude and Nick on the side, I'm curious. Like we've seen Puzon, especially with the entire sheep strat, Puzon doing sheep percent. What's Plywood up to these days? Not sheep strat, that's for sure.
No, it looks like Plywood is it looks like Plywood wants to knock Puzon off of his throne and take this back. I would say these two and Glenn, another runner we'll be seeing later, have they've been trading this around. Puzon took the record before the event, and then Glenn took it, and then Plywood came and took it. So now we're in a very, very interesting place. Oh, a lot of runners just got swapped there. Hold on. That is harder to follow than I think. Okay, so Plywood is currently on the mainstream, for clarification.
Oh, Plywood, Puzon, imposter number 6?
Yes. Once
Okay,
again,
thank you.
impersonating Puzon, or Plywood. Someone is impersonating someone, and it's Plywood on the main screen with Puzon's name. Yeah, Puzon is the one with Plywood's name right now.
So, new strategy. All 4 people, Puzon. Can it happen? Can Puzon steal name percent?
Not only can it happen, it has happened once already for a very brief moment. Alright. So Plywood has just beaten the stage 3 boss.
I always get confused if that is if it's Markuson or Stevenson. I can't remember
Markuson.
which. It's Markuson.
Markuson. This is Markuson, yeah.
Yep. So, Sergeant, would you like to hear one of the moments of surprise brilliance that I really enjoyed on Fran's humor?
I absolutely would.
So you know this boss's name is Stephen Markuson, right?
I did not know his first name, but it has been told to me. I just didn't remember it. Yes, I'm with you.
Now, in Chapter 1, and this is actually a question to anyone in chat as well as you. If you know the answer or not, just say you know it or you don't know it. Does anyone in chat know the name that Jesse uses to impersonate himself in the bathroom scene? Specifically right afterwards, he introduces himself and there's a guard going to the bathroom for any of you casual players that says, "Lieutenant, you say? I'm sorry, sir. I did not know your rank."
Oh, you're right. I know it. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
So if you don't know, that's fine. Oh, it's not Mike, but they give another name. Anyway, these two names are very related to each other. Very related to each other. And when you pay attention to that, just a little cool little attention to detail that Fran did. I will say this much, it's not Mike. Or I'm sorry, the name that Jesse uses is not Mike. That's what I'm saying. So,
I think Jesse could pull off a good mic just between you and me.
Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times even.
Maybe, yeah.
7, 8 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 8 times.
That's a lot of mics.
So. So, outside of that, I will say it's not Pliskin King. Might be a different protagonist here.
I like Pliskin, but yeah, not Pliskin.
So, yeah. Next goal, 125. It looks like DevilDude is setting their mark, and yeah. Well, suddenly it's just us being available in here. Fran, do you have any questions that you would like to ask the speedrunners? If you had a moment to ask them anything?
Well, yeah. So difference. I see that using rolling to go faster. So I deduce you go faster by running with the skill. Is that correct?
Actually, this is one of the things I've helped calculate. If you are moving at full speed sprint, you have, first for the audience, the second level skill sprint provides a 35% movement speed boost in any room that doesn't have an enemy, and a 10% in any room with an enemy. Rolling is slower than 35% movement, but faster than 10% movement. So that's why you'll see them rolling in some rooms, but not in others. In fact, right here, no enemies, so they run because it's faster to just run.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly like that.
There's also other calculations of, there's a talent called Gag Reflex that improves your movement speed if you're doing chloroform strats. So there are ways that you can use that to actually move faster through rooms, but that's more seen in the non-any percent route. So, going into this though, Sergeant, we have a new friend here.
We do. I see we have been joined by, I believe, member of the game creation, voice actor of the Doctor? Is that correct?
I suppose so.
Hello and welcome, Miri.
Hello!
Yep.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm ready for a long day. I'm good.
Wonderful.
Hello, Ghost. Ghost, do you copy?
I don't know. Maybe. Who's talking? Who's asking?
So, an official conversation. This is Miri, also known as Mirshalin. She was the voice actor of Ghost in a previous game, Ghost 1.0, and also the Doctor in Chapter 3, which we get to see very little of in the speedrun.
Yeah, but it's so fascinating to watch speedrunning, so you know what? It's all right.
So you have played one casual playthrough, if I'm correct?
I finished on normal, and then I started on hard to do like achievement hunting and whatnot. I can't remember how far I got in, but yeah.
So, sorry, I was just looking at a note on the side. So, you have a lot of respect for speedrunners. How is it actually seeing the game speedrun after you played it for your first time casually?
It makes me sad that I'm so incompetent. But no, it's great. Oh, so cool. So much respect, because it stresses me out when I watch speedrunners, because like, they know where they're going, but I don't know where they're going. So when I see all these like near-death experiences, even though they know they're fine, I panic.
So, well, I don't know if panic is the right term. I think you just freak out. That's all.
But I know it's all in good fun. And obviously I should just trust the runner to know where they're going.
Yeah, I mean, part of speedrunning is you go for the things you feel confident in, and if you don't, I mean, you just reset and do it again. The whole point is practice. Just do it.
Totally.
And eventually it works out for you.
So crazy.
Yo, Plywood showing off the, I don't know if we've seen that yet. There's a really interesting glitch where if you put a roll, I don't know if calling it glitch is fair, putting a roll and a reload input at the same time, you get a reload slide. It looks really cool.
Oh, I missed it! Oh, cool though.
What would you say about that, Fran? Would you say that's would you call that a glitch, or would you say that's intended?
No,
Or a
it's
feature. Sorry.
the animation is not intended, of course. It's yeah, it can be a glitch. The thing is, there's so many strange situations and strange combinations you can do. Especially you, the speedrunners, who make me suffer a lot by just doing several things at the same time, which I'm not used to.
Yeah. There's definitely the option of, you push two buttons at the same time and suddenly unexpected results happen.
Yeah. Especially when it has to be done at the same exact frame, because one nullifies the other one, but in the next frame. But if you do it exactly at the same moment, it's once every 50 times in a second, then you can do it. And for instance, there was a problem with creating the slingshot. So if you don't have the material to create the slingshot, the boss doesn't appear. So once the game detects you have the stick and the patch, then it enables the bosses. But you speedrunners, you get it so fast that you don't get time to let the game know that you have both, because you combine it too quickly. So once you capture it, you go straight to the inventory, you combine it, and you get directly the slingshot. So that was the reason. So now I had to do another trigger saying, if the player has the slingshot, then enable the boss, which was obvious before. If you don't have the ingredients, you can have the slingshot. But just combining too quickly that was an nightmare. I said, what the hell, what's happening here? And it took me a while to find out by viewing your videos. Oh my god. And as I saw someone just grabbing the stick and going straight to the inventory, I said, okay, I know what's the problem now. So yeah, sometimes it's a headache. It's a headache when you do things so quick.
I don't know if that's a headache per se, but what I can tell you is that there's something else that can be refreshing. I do want to say, letting people know we'll hear more about this story soon, because I know that we've hit a point where we need to technically do something. Sergeant, I think it's about time we swap over blocks, if I'm correct, very soon. Is that accurate?
Yeah. That now would probably be a pretty good time. As you guys know, this event is structured into 4 blocks. So I think we're probably gonna swing it over to a short intermission here in a couple minutes, so we can figure some stuff out, get everything back up to date, and possibly bring in some new faces for the block structure, get some fresh runs in here, and I believe Apache will come in with some words, and we'll figure that one out shortly.
Yeah.
So,
We're going to jump onto a quick intermission. The guys who you currently see still running, they will continue when we come back, but we'll also have some new people as well. So just stay with us for a moment because we have got some things to change on the back end. If you guys go, sorry, I'll be one moment and I'll get us switched over. Okay.
okay.
We just had some issues at the start with changing over some of the screens, so we're gonna get that sorted. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes time. Thanks, guys.